Hello, welcome to another episode of Story Time with Mark DeMeo. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story about the first talking part that I ever got on TV and how that came to be. And it's basically a tribute to Danny Aiello and his sons, Danny Aiello III and Ricky Aiello. Ricky Aiello, I found out that he passed away recently. He passed away from pancreatic cancer on July 26, 2021. And Danny Aiello III also passed away 10 years before that, also from pancreatic cancer. And they were great guys. They were gentlemen. And of course they were, because their father, Danny Aiello, what a great guy. I would say I can't tell you enough, but I am going to tell you. So here we go. So I was a New York City police officer for probably 2 years. And I also had this other thing that I always wanted to do, which was become an actor. So I started studying acting at HB Studios downtown in Manhattan. I used to take a class on Fridays with Trudy Steibel. Great teacher. She runs the place now. If you're thinking about acting, you couldn't do better. So I studied there for about 2 years. And then I got into the 13th Street Theater Company, repertory. It was run by Edith O'Hara. And what an amazing woman she was. I can't even, that's a whole other story, but God bless her. She gave me my start in theater, and I was involved in a couple of plays there, some original works. It was something I always wanted to do. I was in heaven, being a cop and being able to do this acting thing on the side. I was in heaven. And at the same time, I started auditioning. I started doing background work on As the World Turns. I worked my way up from doing background work on As the World Turns to getting a 5 and Under to eventually getting like a day player role. It was the process. These are the things actors did back then. And I also did some background work on feature films. And I did background work on this show called Della Ventura, which was Danny Aiello was the executive producer. And I played a drug dealer's bodyguard. You know, just one of those guys that in the background standing around like this. And there was another bodyguard too, and he was a great guy, Peter Bootsma. And Peter, he was a hustler. In the middle of the first day, or it could have been the second day shooting, he says to me, "Do you got a headshot with you? I'm friends with the first AD, and I'll give it to him." And I did have a headshot with it, and I gave it to him. And wouldn't you know it, on my resume, which was back then, you used to give them a headshot, and then you staple your resume or your acting credits, which for me at that point were just basically the theater that I had done and the acting school. But under like activities, I put boxing because I boxed. Not even on an amateur level. I went to the gym enough. I was a punching bag for a lot of the guys getting ready for the Golden Gloves. Since I was one of the very few super heavyweights in the city, they used to send me around. I used to go to Gleason's and all these different places and get beat up. But I could definitely fake it. You know, I definitely know how to box, at least good enough on screen. So I put it down on the resume. And wouldn't you know it, after that part was said and done, where I played the bodyguard, within like a week or 2 weeks, somebody calls me, "Are you really a boxer?" I said, yeah, absolutely. So they called me in for an audition. And I went in, and this part was a talking part. And this part was like, in a primetime series, you have a story and a B story. The B story is usually what's going on with the cast and the little stories amongst the players, and the A story is the guest star for that particular week. And I was auditioning for the guest star for that particular week, which was a boxer named Chris Fraken. So I go in for the first audition, and I must have done something right, because they called me for another audition, the callback it's called. You know, I forgot to add the pictures here. I just want to show you before we move on any further who we're talking about here, okay? Obviously, this is Danny Aiello. This was his son, Aiello the third. I'll tell you about him and what his job was on the Della Ventura show in a second. And this was Ricky Aiello. And so here's what happens. I get a call back, which means I did something good enough on the original audition. And it was on a day that I was working. And at the time I was working in Queens. I worked in the Queens task force. And the reason why I was doing this warrant thing, we were going out basically picking up people on warrants, misdemeanors, not felonies though, because that was for the warrant squad. We were doing misdemeanors and even some summonses, returning people to court, whatever. But I needed the hours because I was in this theater company now. So it worked out fine. But on this particular day, when I had the call back, I told my boss, a great guy, Jimmy, and I said, listen, I got to leave early today because I got a call back for this acting thing. And he says, nah, you don't have to leave early. We'll bring you. I said, are you sure? Whatever. It was in the city, He goes, yeah. So 4 of us, or maybe 5, including me, we drove into the city with the van. And I went upstairs and they wished me luck before I got out of the van. I went upstairs and this time I had a chance to audition for Danny Aiello himself. He was there. He was a famous actor. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, this guy, he was in Do the Right Thing and Moonstruck. I mean, just so many great movies. Fort Apache, The Bronx, The Godfather 2. I mean, he's been around forever. Great actor. So to meet him, it was just like an honor. So I did the lines with him. And then they said, oh, that was great. That was great. And then they go, okay, I want you to, go work with the stunt coordinator, which was Danny Aiello the third. He was the stunt coordinator for the show. And show him your boxing and let him see you throw some punches. So we went in another area. I left that room. And that's where I met Danny the third. And he had me do some shadow boxing. And Shadow knocked me out. No, I'm kidding. But I did some shadow boxing, and then he goes, "Oh, that was great. That was great." And then he brings me back to the room there where Danny Aiello was, and the other people from the show, executives from the show, and stuff like that. And I guess he gave me the thumbs up because Danny said, "You got the part." I couldn't believe it. I was like in shock. I was like, this was like the A story in a primetime episode. That was like 6 scenes that I was involved in. I couldn't believe it. And I was like in shock. And like, so I just went around and started hugging everybody and saying thank you. And then I had to walk I had to walk back. And just so this is, I'm going to show you a clip right now. This is a scene from the movie. Talking about getting knocked out. Check this out from the TV show. What are you two doing? We're trying to keep you out of the wheelchair. What are you talking about? You're still family, Chris. That's Catherine Narducci from Sopranos. In your car, driving into a brick wall. You have the same chance of surviving that as you do 10 rounds with Mendoza. You've always been down on me. Look, I'm not saying you can't do this next year, but you have to practice your skills. Listen to it, kid. How a big man speaks. You've got nothing to say to me. You're a loser. And I don't listen to losers. This is where it gets great. I don't beat up on has-beens. Oh man. Oh, how great was that? Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta get back. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I always mess this up. So, I don't know. What do you think? I got knocked out on the bar there. If you want to see the whole thing, it's on YouTube. You could just put it in Mark DeMeo and look at my videos, and it's one of them on there. You'll see the whole 9-minute segment. So in that scene, in that particular scene, that was Ricky Aiello and obviously his dad, Danny Aiello, and Catherine Narducci, who's been in a ton of stuff, including Sopranos, and she just had a big part in that. She started out from The Bronx Tale, and she was very nice. She was very cool too. So, just to tell you a bit, so this is what happened. So now I'm leaving the office, and I'm walking down. I'm taking the elevator downstairs, and I'm heading out to the van, and all the guys that drove me out there, my sergeant and the other 4 detectives, they're waiting for me in the van, and they were all excited. It's just like, what happened? What happened? And I was like, oh, fuck, man, if I messed it up, man. I don't think I'm gonna get it. And they were like, oh man, don't worry about it, bro. You're gonna get him next time. You'll get him next time. And then I was like, nah, I got it, man. I got the part. And everybody freaked out. They jumped all over me. They hugged me. They kissed me. And then I went and I shot it, and it aired, and we all watched it together. And it was looking back, it was just an incredible experience because, being on the job and you with, sometimes you don't know how people are going to take it when you're doing stuff like this. But the people that I worked with were so supportive and just phenomenal men and women too that I worked with on the job and while I was working in that place, and they supported me, and they used to read my lines, help me audition, help me study lines in the van and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share that story with you. And one more thing about just how great of a guy Danny Aiello was. Well, first of all, before I even say that, I'd be working a parade in the city. I remember one time I was working St. Patrick's Day parade. It wasn't long after we had shot that episode, but Danny was there, and he was asking everybody if they knew me and where I was, and they were pointing him in my direction. So the guy was just such a supporter of the police, man. He was just such a great guy. And here's a testament to it. It probably was. It's 24 years now since that episode aired. It probably was like maybe 15 to 17 years after it aired, and I was leaving a building after either doing an auditioning or rehearsing for something, and as I'm walking outside, I see a car. It was like a Lincoln Town car, and sitting in the passenger seat is Danny Aiello. I could see him, and so I had this thought in my head: should I go say hi? You know what I'm saying? And I immediately remembered that Danny the Third had passed away, so I knew him because I didn't think he was going to remember me. That's why. I mean, how could you remember some guy freaking, from 15 years ago after all the stuff this guy's doing? So, but I said no. I have to give him my condolences. So I went up to the car. I knocked on the window. Obviously, he's not going to remember something. Hey, hi, Mr. Aiello. My name is Mark DeMeo. I'm an actor. I work with, and then he looked before I could even get to. After I said, "Hey, Mr. Aiello," he goes, "Hey, Mark, what's up? How are you? How you been?" And then I couldn't believe he remembered me. So that kind of sort of threw me for a loop, and I was just like, "Oh man." And then I paid my respects to his son and stuff like that, and told him, how much he helped me, and I wanted to thank him. And yeah, so that was, you never know the way things are going to go. And so whatever it is that you're doing out there, pursue it to the fullest and give it your all. And I guarantee you, something's going to happen. A learning experience is going to happen. You're going to run into great people the way I did. So please, rest in peace, Ricky Aiello. And it was great working with you guys. May you both rest in peace, Danny the Third, and Danny. And thanks for believing in my talent and putting me on your show. All right, that's another story with Mark DeMeo. Story time with Mark DeMeo. I hope you enjoyed it.